We've torn through every single part of the trailer and every single part of the leaks. We've gone over the weapons, the dynamic between the protagonists, all of the locations, and whole communities have been built off trying to figure out what GTA 6 is going to be like. I mean, I've dedicated my whole channel to it. But out of all of the blog posts, articles, videos, news outlets, and theories being speculated online, one particular key area is being neglected: boats. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I absolutely love boats. In fact, one of my main goals over the next few years is to buy a boat and maybe even create a boating YouTube channel. Growing up, I've always been obsessed with being on the water. I just want a Fairline Phantom, please subscribe. And although a lot of people may not be interested, the GTA 6 trailer definitely drilled home how important boats are to GTA 6. Now, if you're not interested in boats, don't worry, because a lot of these points that I'm going to bring up in this video do translate to different other areas of the game. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So the first thing we need to talk about before we talk about what we've actually seen from the trailer and the leaks regarding boats, we need to just talk about where the game is based. So the game is based in Vice City, which is obviously a fictional version of Miami. Now, Florida, and in particular Miami, is synonymous with the boating culture. There's whole channels dedicated to watching boats tackle rough water on some of the inlets around Miami. Now, in certain parts of the world, people have different weekend and holiday activities. And in Miami and the coastal areas of Florida, boating is an important recreational activity that a lot of people enjoy. And this is actually even obvious in the price of boats in Miami. Boats in Miami are so much cheaper than they are, for example, in the UK. So at this point, we need to start talking about the trailer and what we can actually see. Well, a lot of people haven't mentioned this, and I think it's mainly because a lot of people aren't as interested in boats as I am, but there are so many boats. In fact, in over 50% of the shots in the trailer, there were boats present. We have this one, 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 and this one. Now, this drilled home something that's quite important. Currently playing GTA, more particularly GTA Online, this is what the marinas look like. There is not a single boat in sight. You might be lucky to possibly get one boat to spawn occasionally. And there's a few key reasons for this. Firstly, it's resource management. Obviously, GTA 5 is a PS3 game. So when it comes to prioritizing a list of things that need to spawn, boats for the most part are going to be at the very, very, very bottom of that list. So in GTA 6, it really does look like they're attempting to fix that, especially with this particular shot in the trailer, where we can see a countless number of boats. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is this shot here. So we can see the window of the boat is open. And I know what you're thinking, so what? The window's open. Well, through that window, we can actually see the interior of the boat. Now, this is something that GTA 5 seriously lacked in. None of the interiors were visitable, and of course we had the super yachts that were kind of explorable, but they served no real purpose or function to the game. Now, another reason why this is quite important is that people have modded GTA 5 to actually create interiors for some of the boats. And the first thing that you'll realize is the actual scale of the boats in GTA 5 is massively wrong. For example, our characters are actually taller than the boats themselves, which doesn't really make any sense. So if your character was to stand up with their feet at the very bottom of the boat, the head would be poking through the top of the boat. But looking at the GTA 6 trailer, we can see straight away that this catamaran, a twin-hulled boat, appears to be a lot larger than equivalent boats that we've seen before in GTA games. The scale, for all intents and purposes, has been fixed. That, accompanied with the fact that windows and boats are open and we can see lighting coming from the inside of boats, leads to the possibility that we may be able to actually sleep on our boats, do things on our boats. Now, whilst this may not serve any real purpose for the game itself, I still think it adds an extra layer of immersion and realism, especially if you're into the whole role-playing stuff. And when it comes to the interiors of boats, people don't really seem to understand the scale of it. A boat like this, which is a relatively big boat, is only a quarter of the size of the super yachts that we currently have in GTA Online. In fact, I'd argue maybe even less than that, maybe 1/5 of the size. But they have multiple bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, and different areas of the boat that serve different purposes depending on your use case for the boat. More to the point, these boats aren't the sort of boats that you just park up all the time and go to marinas all the time in. Something like this, you'd probably anchor off at a bay somewhere and get a smaller boat, a tender, which you usually keep inside the boat, to go to the beach. And you may laugh and go, Cyberboy, why are you talking about anchoring your boat off the shore? Well, looking at the GTA 6 trailer, these boats all appear to be at anchor. Stuff like this, which is extra layers of realism and immersion, I do think Rockstar should add into the game, but at the same time, I'm not the target audience. Your boat enthusiasts aren't the target audience for GTA 6. It's a game, it's not a functionality piece, it's an entertainment product. I'm just saying that these little pieces of attention to detail would really be cool. Now the next thing in GTA 5, we are able to tow boats. But the whole system, although was really cool for the time, it's pretty janky. You're not able to recover your boat out of the water, and sometimes when the boat detaches, it immediately damages the boat. In fact, a few times I've dropped boats into the water and then they've just exploded because the boat being attached to the trailer is registering as a collision. Also as well, on a few different occasions, I've reversed the boat off a trailer, and then as soon as I turn the camera to a different angle and turn back, the car that I just dropped the boat into the water with has despawned, which is really weird. Now looking at the GTA 6 trailer, it looks like there's definitely a lot of different locations that we can actually drop boats into the water. Some proper slipways that we can reverse boats into. In the trailer we could see that here and here. Now in GTA 5 there's only a couple of locations that are purposely designed to drop boats into the water. The rest of the time you just find yourself doing it on beaches. Now going back to the trailer again, something else that we can see is the absolute sheer variety of boats that we can see in the trailer. We have everything from sailing boats to cabin cruisers, to speedboats, to ribs, to jet skis. Of course we have the super yachts, but also a different variation of everything in between. And of course we have container ships. Now I'm not sure why this isn't a bigger topic in the GTA community, probably because the whole boating in the GTA community doesn't really exist, but container ships. So obviously in the trailer we had the big container ships, but I don't think that these will be drivable. I do think, however, these container ships, the smaller ones, probably will be drivable, hence why we can see them moving around the map. Now I'm sure that there's a logical reason why bigger container ships wouldn't be drivable in the game, whether that's game engine specific or not, I'm not too sure, but bigger boats like this being drivable is really cool. Also, there has been some mention of potentially cruise ships being drivable, and the only reason this has been brought up is because the Port of Miami is the hub for all of the world's major cruise lines, especially doing a lot of the excursions around the Caribbean and the Bahamas and stuff. I'm very interested to see how many different boat models that there will be in GTA 6. On top of that, this kind of ties back into GTA 5. Rockstar have continually updated the vehicles available to buy in GTA, but the one area that they've kind of neglected is the boat category. Whilst there's hundreds of cars that we can drive and own, when it comes to boats there's around about 12 different forms of marine vehicles that we can operate. It's very obvious that for somewhere like Vice City and the intercoastal waterways of Leonida, this isn't going to be good enough. And obviously Rockstar have identified that with what they've done in the GTA trailer. Now the next thing I want to talk about is a complete stab in the dark, and we have no idea whether this will be in the game or not. But please bear with me. A common water sport is wakeboarding. Water sports around Miami are really important. A lot of people do things like wakeboarding and stuff like that. So I think it would be a really cool thing if Rockstar add in something into their game engine that allows you to actually wakeboard, or maybe even the surfing rumors that we heard before. Any sort of water-based sports would be really cool in the game, and fun little challenges that we can complete with our friends. Now in my opinion, I think that this is a little bit unlikely, just because games developers like Rockstar tend to work on a priority list of things that need to be in the game. Essentially, how well does this particular thing serve the story of the game, and then everything past that is the extra missions, the side activities and stuff like that. So whether this would be an important side activity to Rockstar, we really have no idea, but I do think it would be cool nonetheless. Now I'm hoping in the next trailer we can see some more closer detail of some of the boats, maybe some things that we can pick out, and potentially that second trailer could be dropping at any point in the next couple of weeks. So let me know down in the comments if you're excited to see the boats in GTA 6, and thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Spin the